Hello, my friends. I am so happy you are here with me today. Take a deep breath and imagine this. It is early morning. The world is still quiet. Soft light enters through your window. In the kitchen, water begins to boil. A gentle sound fills the air, bubbling, steaming. Then comes the aroma. Rich, warm, deep. The smell of freshly brewed coffee slowly spreads through the room. You wrap your hands around a warm cup. The heat touches your skin. You take the first sip. Outside, everything seems normal. Cars pass, people walk to work, birds begin to sing. But beneath the surface, something meaningful is happening. Today we are talking about the accidental majesty of coffee. But have you ever stopped to wonder, why do we love it so much? Where did it begin? And how did a simple bean become one of the most powerful drinks in human history? Coffee is not just a drink, it is a ritual, a comfort, a companion. And its story is more surprising than you think. Every year, millions, actually billions of people drink coffee. They drink it at home, in cafes, in offices, on trains, in airports. It wakes us up, it brings us together, it fuels our conversations and our ideas. Yet most of us don't know the real story. Is it just a modern habit, a product of busy city life, or does it have deeper roots? The story of coffee is a journey through time. A story filled with ancient legends, wandering traders, spiritual rituals, political debates, and global revolutions. It is a story of accidents, of discovery, of curiosity. So today we travel back in time together. Are you ready? Let's begin. Let's go back, far back. Imagine we are in Ethiopia around the 9th century. Green mountains stretch across the land. The air is fresh and cool. Goats move across rocky hillsides, watched carefully by a young shepherd. His name, according to legend, was Kaldi. One day, Kaldi noticed something strange. His goats were unusually energetic. They were jumping, running, almost dancing. He looked closer. They had been eating bright red berries from a small tree. Curious, Kaldi tried the berries himself. Soon he felt different. Awake, alert, alive. Excited by his discovery, he brought the berries to a local monastery. At first, the monks were unsure. Some say one monk threw the berries into the fire. But as they burned, a beautiful smell filled the air. The roasted beans were collected, ground, mixed with hot water, and coffee was born. At that time, monks needed help staying awake during long hours of prayer. They believed the drink helped them remain spiritually focused. During this time, people did not celebrate coffee like we do today, but they respected it. They saw it as a gift. Even here in the hills of Ethiopia, we can see the first seed of what would later become the majesty of coffee. It was discovered by accident. But it would change the world. As time moved forward, everything began to change. Coffee traveled across the Red Sea to Yemen. In the 15th century, Sufi monks began drinking coffee to stay awake during night prayers. The drink became deeply connected to spiritual devotion. From Yemen, coffee entered the city of Mecca. And here, something powerful happened. Coffee houses began to appear. People gathered not only to drink coffee, but to talk, to debate, to share ideas. Some leaders became worried. They feared these coffee houses encouraged too much thinking, too much discussion, too much freedom. In fact, coffee was banned several times in different regions. But each time, the ban failed. Why? Because people loved it. They loved the energy. They loved the connection. They loved the conversations it created. Coffee was no longer just a drink. It was a social force. And because of this moment, history shifted. Years passed. Empires rose and fell. Coffee spread through the Ottoman Empire. In cities like Istanbul, coffee houses became cultural centers. Artists, poets, and thinkers gathered there. Coffee preparation became an art. Finely ground beans, carefully heated water, small cups served with respect. When coffee reached Europe in the 17th century, many people were suspicious. Some called it the bitter invention of Satan. But when Pope Clement VIII tasted it, he reportedly enjoyed it so much that he gave it approval. Coffee then became accepted in Christian Europe. Layer by layer, a new tradition was formed. In London, Paris, and Vienna, coffee houses appeared everywhere. They were called penny universities because for the price of one cup, you could join important discussions. Scientists, philosophers, and writers met in these spaces. The meaning of coffee slowly transformed. It became connected to intelligence, to creativity, to revolution. Now we move to the age of enlightenment. During this time, a new idea appeared, reason and human progress. Coffee played a quiet but powerful role. Unlike alcohol, which made people sleepy or emotional, coffee made them alert, clear-minded, focused. Writers like Voltaire were famous for drinking large amounts of coffee while working. Philosophers gathered in cafes to discuss democracy, science, and freedom. In France, cafes became centers of revolutionary thought. In England, businessmen used coffee houses to build financial institutions, including what would become the London Stock Exchange. This was the moment when coffee became majestic. Not because it was expensive, not because it was rare, but because it fueled ideas that shaped the modern world. Emotion entered the tradition. Coffee became part of daily life, morning routines, afternoon meetings, late-night writing sessions. It became personal. Then came a revolution. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Coffee plantations expanded in places like Brazil and Colombia. Mass production increased. Steamships and railways transported beans across oceans. In the 20th century, instant coffee was invented. Vacuum-sealed packaging kept beans fresh. Large companies built global brands. Coffee became faster, more accessible, more commercial. Some people loved the convenience. Others criticized the growing industry, pointing to labor issues, environmental concerns, and unfair trade. Yet coffee continued to grow. It spread into homes, offices, and every corner of the globe. Today, coffee looks very different. In Italy, people drink quick espresso shots while standing at the bar. In Turkey, coffee is thick, strong, and served with tradition. In the United States, coffee shops offer lattes, cappuccinos, and flavored drinks in large cups. In Ethiopia, the traditional coffee ceremony remains a beautiful ritual with roasting, grinding, and serving done slowly and respectfully. Technology has changed how we enjoy it. Espresso machines, coffee pods, cold brew systems. You can order coffee with an app. You can work remotely in a cafe across the world. But the message remains the same. Coffee brings people together. Of course, some people say it is too commercial. It has lost its simplicity. It creates dependence. These thoughts matter. Coffee is powerful. It affects our bodies. It shapes global economies. And the industry still faces serious challenges. But if we look deeper, the heart of it still remains. Coffee is about pause. A moment before the day begins. A conversation between friends. A quiet space to think. It is about energy, not just physical energy, but creative energy. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest things in history begin by accident. A shepherd, a curious bite, a simple discovery, and from that, a global tradition. So why does coffee still exist? Because the human heart does not change. We all want to feel awake, to connect, to create, to belong. Coffee survives centuries because it speaks to something timeless. The need for warmth, the need for clarity, the need for community. The next time you see a cup of coffee, don't just see a drink. See the mountains of Ethiopia. See the monks in prayer. See the crowded cafes of Europe. See the thinkers, the dreamers, the revolutionaries. See the story. You are part of that story too. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep discovering. Goodbye for now. Ass!